Welcome to What's Your Skroove, where we tell stories, share experiences, and get inside the minds of artists, athletes, creators, and musicians. What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 27 of What's Your Skroove with today's guest, Sofia of Nina and the Buffalo Riders, Detroit native, and this podcast has been a little bit in the works. We finally made it happen, so I'm super excited.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming and sitting in our basement and talking about music and culture.
For sure.
Yes, thank you, Nina.
Yeah, no problem.
So it's episode 27, and Nina just informed us that 27 is our lucky number. So do with that as you will. This could be the best episode we ever record.
Yeah, so a little bit of background before we dive into Nina and start asking her a bunch of questions. We met Nina at Rosie O'Grady's one night. You're performing outside. Me and Tyler were actually getting some work done, I think, and then having some beers.
Yeah, we were in the covered part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I saw you guys in there, and then I saw you guys move. I was like, okay.
Yeah, well, dude, we
okay,
heard
cool.
this voice.
We
of
heard an
I'm
angel.
like, holy shit, we got to go enjoy this because I love live music. And
Well,
I love live
whenever we
music
go out,
bars.
that's a huge deciding factor. If we have the opportunity to go do a bar that's just playing tunes, and then if there's a bar that has live music, we're always going to go to the music. Hey, scoot back this way if you can, too. So I can't even see. We didn't even prepare for this well.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's better. So yeah, live music is a huge deciding factor for us when we're determining where we want to go out and different things like that.
Right on.
And then
We heard
then
this
we
shit
heard
killing.
yeah,
I'm like,
we're
dude, I'm
whoa.
gonna enjoy this. It was a beautiful day, and it was you're on the
nice out,
patio,
yeah.
and it's perfect recipe. It was a perfect recipe.
Mm-hmm.
The perfect storm. So Nina and the Buffalo Riders. So do you when you perform with the band? Do you play guitar then as well, or is that
Yeah.
just okay? So you're singer and guitarist.
Yeah.
How long have you been playing guitar?
I guess longer than I like to admit. I've been playing since I was 11, so
wow.
for 16 years now.
Okay.
But I feel I didn't practice enough that whole time. You're just as good as you want to be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, it's funny. I remember being, playing for about 5 years or so, and there were these two boys in high school that were teaching me and a few of my friends how to play certain songs, and this guy's just ripping it, just shredding it more than I've ever seen live in front of my face. And the teacher's like, well, how long have you been playing? And he's like, oh, a year and a half. And I'm like, dude, I got 4 years on you.
Right.
What the hell? Thought I was just gonna magically get there. No, practice, man.
How'd you get into guitar?
What's funny is my dad actually was like, you need to, because I've been singing forever, and he's like, you need to accompany yourself. And I was like, oh, I want to learn piano. And he's like, well, you can't carry a piano.
Ah.
I'm like, dang, you're right.
He's right.
You're right.
That's a good line.
Unless you get one of those new little you seen those ones that,
Oh,
that you
yeah.
blow into and
Does that have a name?
Those are pretty cool.
yeah, I don't know what it's
Harmonica.
called.
Yeah.
They're super small.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just, so I learned guitar, and
So as a little
That's how that
girl,
happened.
you would sing.
yeah,
Just
since I've
with the radio or what?
both since with the radio, and my parents just caught me singing one day. Were like, "Oh, you're good." So for family parties, it'd be my dad and my uncle just drunk in whoever basement or backyard, and they're like, "Sing me a country song." And so I was singing a lot of Tim McGraw and
Okay.
Martina McBride and Deanna Carter, Strawberry Wine and stuff.
Oh,
like
I
that.
love that
That is
song.
a phenomenal song.
Wow, that's a great song. So you started singing from an early age, and then just as a hobbyist singer, just whenever
Yeah.
you heard a song, sing along. And then at 11, you picked up the guitar. And do you remember what your first guitar was?
Yeah, it was I think it was just a regular light colored Squire, by
nice.
Fender.
Yeah.
I think it was just even a starter kit.
That's such a
maybe.
great guitar, though.
Yeah, but I remember the action being too high, and my dad took it in to get it, leveled out and fixed. But they were basically it's not going to be worth it. It's not the right kind of material. You need to get basically it was going to cost more to get it souped up than it would to just pay the difference on getting another one.
Gotcha.
So I ended up getting a completely black with a black pickguard Squire by Fender as well, and it's that's actually the one that I brought today.
Oh,
right on.
really?
Yeah.
Dope.
So,
Very cool.
I've decorated it a little bit since then, but
Nice.
I like that
And I was digging the
customization.
Taylor that you were playing.
Oh, yeah, the
that's a
Taylor.
beautiful guitar.
yeah. What's funny with that story is I had a Taylor 300 series, and just stupidly left it in a car with the door unlocked.
No.
When I walked into a liquor store. And, I just remember going and looking at the security camera, and I just watched this guy open the door and just just like take it out. And like,
That
I was like, I'm never going to get another one of those. It's never going to happen again. So I like, like vented about it on Facebook and was like, does anybody have a guitar I can rent? Because I don't have anything right now. Like, and I have gigs this week. And a friend of mine, Chuck Marshall, he actually takes photos of a lot of different musicians and bands all over Detroit, which is really, and all over Michigan, which is really cool. And other things, he has a Facebook page called Life in Michigan. So he has, he'll do articles and stuff like that about different things going on, different events. But he was like, oh, I have a guitar you can have it. I didn't even ask. I was like, I don't even care. I need a guitar. So I was like, he's like, you can just have it. I don't use it. Like I use my Les Paul. Like I just don't use this guitar. I was like, okay, cool. He goes, just come to Ann Arbor to pick it up. And I was like, sweet, so sweet. Get up there, and he pulls this big, heavy-ass Taylor. I was like, maybe it's just the case. I can't, maybe I was just like, oh, cool, thanks, nice case. I was like, whatever. Opens it up, and I was like, Chuck, no way. Like, are you kidding me? Like, just completely upgraded me, like, another grand.
Wow.
Like, and a guitar. He's like, oh, I just don't use it. And I'm just like, okay. What do I do? Like,
that is in the most
wife's standing there.
thing.
I'm like, I do sexual favors. What do I do?
I owe you.
What? I owe you. I'm like, what? He's like, just keep playing. He's like, I love your band so much. I never want to see you stop playing.
That's so cool.
Well, for reference too, for
Yeah.
people the layman out there who doesn't understand, because I mean, by no means are we musicians, but we own guitars. So like, I think, but the first guitar you lost, that Taylor, was a 300 series. That's like a what, $500 guitar, right?
No, it was $1,100.
$1,100.
Yeah.
And then what's the
This was like 23.
The 20. Okay, so like that's
brand new is
like
23.
So you can imagine the devastation
Yes.
of losing. That'd be like somebody stealing all
man.
of our cameras.
Yeah,
so, like, that'd be a
I was
bad
like,
deal.
I was like immediately like, I'm never getting that back. That's never gonna happen again. I was just so careless. I can't believe myself. Like, and it was like I was in the liquor store for like 4 minutes.
The universe gave you a second chance.
Seriously.
Literally, and
man.
like sometimes the universe is just like, don't do that shit again.
Like
Yeah.
I
Like,
think that was.
literally,
It's
literally
almost more
happens
powerful than if you never would have lost it in the
I
first place. Because
know.
now you're like,
That's
I
what I'm
need
just
to be
like-
doing this.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So, you have your guitar. You're in high school. You said you were in a band in high school.
Yeah. With actually my keyboard player now, Mike.
Okay.
He had a band and they were called Asylum, and they had a singer and stuff like that. But they wanted to take their group into a different direction, and they asked me, they're like, do you want to sing for our band? I was like, sure. And they're like, well, we want to call it something else, like whatever. And I actually thought up the name. Back then we're into more like metal-y, screamo-y kind of stuff, so our band was called Time Will Reveal.
Okay.
And it was like
okay.
a dated 80s
Yeah,
metalcore
that's
band.
like
we used to do like
perfect.
Rainbow in the Dark cover,
Ronnie
and
James
like-
Dio?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like stuff like that.
Like
We would do
a
some
rainbow.
Journey and some like we would do, like a bunch of like Guns N' Roses and different shit like that. Maybe I think we did one Metallica song even like. Anyway, like it was just like that, and
I love
Mike.
that.
Mike actually wrote every single part to every single instrument: the lead guitar, the rhythm guitar, the bass, the drum parts, the keys. He wrote the words and he wrote the melodies.
Wow.
Everything. Like he
Wow.
wrote everything, and so it was just like his own creation. So it was really, really cool. We were in that band, and that was like in my senior year, I think my junior and senior year, or maybe my senior year, and yeah, that was killer. That was a lot of fun.
Were you guys getting gigs?
We got a few, like we played a few. We played like Scarecrow Fest in like Trenton. We played one Clutch Cargo's gig, and like everything else was like grad party, just like bullshit, like whatever. It wasn't like
It's part of the process, though.
yeah. We played in our high school pep rally one time, and it's like I always thought like I think this is really cool, but I also feel like people are gonna be like that's stupid,
Right.
like. But then like
But there's
I
always those
heard like
people.
years later a bunch of younger kids that were like, we always wanted to play the pep rally, and your band played, and I was like, wow, like how cool, like.
We have the Time Will Reveal pep rally
Yeah,
concert
right, like-
T-shirt.
Can we open for him? Yeah. The concert, the
I
Jersey
wish
tee.
we made those.
Yeah.
Yeah, we never had any merch, but we did put out an EP, which is funny. That's like,
There's some
Can we
CDs
find that
out there
anywhere?
somewhere.
oh man, I got one left, I think.
Oh,
Like
man.
I'll have to like send it to you guys or something.
Yeah, get
Oh,
us a digital file of that.
Yeah, right.
Oh
But-
man, I'd love to see that.
Man, yeah. But then after that, it was like I just did solo for a bunch, and I just kept doing solo stuff, and did like random recordings of solo songs. And I have like cheap recordings here and there. I'm in the middle of doing my solo album right now. Just like this year's been like a crazy year. Just going through a million different things at once. So
Like good stuff, bad stuff.
all the bad things, the
Really?
worst things. Yeah. I ended like a 5-year relationship.
Oh, wow.
man.
Like all the stuff that you don't want to go through, like there was like band members of mine like left in January. I joined another group as well, and then like there was like issues with their group members and stuff like that. So it was like January was like 8 months long, and then like life happened, and like even like 6 months prior to that, my cat was stolen. So it's
Your
just like
cat was
Yeah,
stolen?
so like just this whole year from the year of me being 26, I was
steals
like,
a cat?
it's like crazy. I just remember like even like I don't even know. I was just like saying like, oh man, I hope like my ex or like doesn't break up with me because I'm like I'm gonna jump off a bridge, and then it was like 2 months later,
You get that-
like
you get the text.
and I'm just
Yeah.
like, well, there it goes.
Oh damn,
There's like,
that
but
is
you know,
tough.
like that's the universe being like, you shed on.
Yeah.
And then like, you know, afterwards, you know, like, and a lot of things have just been great happening to me, you know, like I've just reconnecting with a lot of different people, collaborating more with new people. Like I met you guys, you know, been meeting more people and connecting with people that I need to be connected with. So, you know, in that video that I just had, my friend Aaron, you know,
Yeah.
Aaron Wade, I met him in at Electric Forest, and he's just from Columbus. And it's funny, right before he took the video, he's like, I'm going to record a viral video right now, guys, shut up. Like, it was just so funny. And we're like, what? Like, but he's actually going to come into Feral Fest and like record a bunch of stuff at
Really?
yeah, at Feral Fest. So
Really sweet.
Yeah.
That's badass.
That's very
So, I want to like back up a little bit. You're playing. You said you went to U of M Dearborn, right?
Yes.
And you kind of have your solo stuff, and you're getting gigs on like the
Yeah,
weekends.
yeah.
You're doing stuff at like bars and whatnot, and you're writing a little bit
Yeah.
too. And then you just like taught yourself to write. Did your buddy, Mike, is that his name? Did like he help you like
no,
learn to
like
write
I was
music, or
already
what?
writing before that. I was actually writing poetry first. And then I started playing guitar, and I started learning. I learned how to play songs and write songs, I guess, when I was 12. So 1 year after I started playing, I was writing songs.
Oh really?
Because I was already writing poetry, and then it was like by that time I knew chord progressions and kind of knew how to like form my voice
Yeah.
into the certain ways. So and I was in choir like in middle school and then in high school and stuff like that too. So it was like I always had like consistent practice and like of singing and like I don't know. I was like I said I was always writing. So I think the first time I wrote a song I was 12, and then there's a song on our first EP called City I wrote when I was 14.
I like that.
I love that song.
And I wrote that when I was 14.
That's an
And then,
incredible
like,
song.
Ended up like bringing it out and recording it when I was like 19 or 18 or 19, and I was like, oh shit, like, and everybody's like, wow, I really like this song. And I'm like, man, I wrote that when I was a kid. Like I know it's referencing like one girl that I dated, and then it references like. So basically, like street lamps, like lighting the way. Me and my brothers used to like cruise downtown Detroit, like late at night, and there was always just like the steam coming
Right.
up from like, and that was the only place I've ever seen steam. Like there's not in the suburbs, there's not like steam like that coming out of the ground and stuff, and it was just always like that was a thing where we would always go hang out and like cruise and stuff, and like the girl I was dating, would come with us sometimes, and like it's called City because we used to go to this coffee shop called City in Allen Park,
Okay.
and so it was just like. All about stuff like that. Like I don't even know. There's just a bunch of little references and stuff.
That is a
but
badass song.
It is
I
really
like
cool.
it a lot.
So like what is your like writing process? Is it different depending on different songs? Is it
Yeah.
like obviously like a breakup or something like that can spark
Right.
some like some songs? Like do you
Right.
sit down and write, or do you like have ideas come to you?
I would say a little bit of both. There's a lot of different things. Sometimes I'll be writing something and I'll just be writing lines. Like today I wrote, I just wrote lyrics to a song that I already have the melody to in my brain, like I already have like a melody, and I'm like, this is what I want to do. So I think of like syllables, like what I want the song to sound like, just like that. But there's other times where a lot of the time it's me just being on stage writing or singing, playing a chord progression, and that I've been playing for a long time, and then I'll just form words to it. What I really do mostly is what vowel sounds good here, and then I'll put vowels in certain areas of the song, and then I'm like, okay, this word is home. What rhymes with home, and like what concept do I want to bring to this song that is around the word home?
Like musically.
Yeah.
So is that pretty standard? It sounds like from what you've described, the music kind of comes first. Is that pretty standard for you?
Sometimes the words come first, and that's
Part of the game, man.
It's part of the game, It's like, and it's sometimes people are so specific, but for me, it's like because I think I wrote poetry first. A lot of the time, I'll just write words that I feel and hear, and then I'll form them and like change them up and chop them up and see, like how I could work it out to make a song, and how I try to do. I remember I was getting sloppy for a minute because I forgot how to write, how I used to write, and I just recently like remembered in the last like 6 months, and I'm like, oh, back on track, cool. Like
Right.
It's about like syllables are a big thing for me, I guess, like so. I don't know, it's just like it makes the song like work better, if it lines up more, because it's like more of a consistent thing, to where it's more of a pattern, to where it's more familiar. So it's like you get the same groove through everything. You know, maybe like the second verse, you might do like another little thing, but then it comes back down to go to the same like groove.
Okay.
You know, or whatever. So, yeah, vowels and then syllables, and just to feel. Like sometimes I'll play the chords and just feel like, what am I feeling? What emotions am I even feeling during this song? Like, what am I imagining? Am I walking? Am I jogging? Am I chilling? Am I crying? Am I like, you know, like jamming? Am I like raging? Am I like, you know, like mad? Am I learning? You know, am I thinking? You know, just different things. Like, it's just, music can speak a million different things without even having words.
Well, and that's the craziest thing too about music, and just my opinion is like music can influence emotion so much. You know, you can listen to like a, you know, Rage Against the Machine song and like want to go like bang your head up against the wall, or you listen to like Jack Johnson and you're like sitting on a beach, you know.
Eating
so
pancakes, right?
Yeah,
I imagine that like has to go into like the writing process, and you're like, yeah, what do I want to portray here?
And that's what's cool about traveling too, is and bringing your guitar wherever you go, or bringing your instrument, because, you know, like, the way that I write music when I'm on the beach is completely different than how I write music when I'm in the forest.
Right.
The groove that I have, like the vibe that goes in my fingers, like the way I pick the strings is completely different.
Really?
Yeah.
It's the energy.
Yeah, the energy is different. You know, in the city even too, it's completely different. So yeah, I try to travel as much as I can, even if it's like a friend's like, hey, like, you know, I'm going to this state that's like 9 hours away for like a day and a half. You want to come? Hell yeah, I'm coming. You know, I'm coming, and I'm just gonna, you know, because there's, even if I only spend 20 minutes in a place I've never been, that's 20 minutes of like what can I produce here? You know?
Experience and inspiration. Yeah, it can come from anywhere.
Now, do you like sit down and make a conscious effort and say, never like an hour every day I'm putting effort to this, or is it more like inspiration based and like, what's your creative process look like? Like a guy we interviewed one time talked about, he's like, oh, you know, at this time every morning I black out this time. And then we've talked to other people who are like, you know, if I get ideas I just write them down. Like, what's that look like for you?
I feel like I wish it was I wish I had like a set block of time, but because if I make something like I have to do this, inspiration's gone. 1000%.
Can't force it.
Even like if I'm like, I want to sit and write and record everything that I write right now. None of it's good. Not one damn thing.
Really?
If I hit record, not one damn thing is good. Like, so it's just like I have to like stay in the mode and then like remember it and like think of it and then like just keep remembering it and keep playing it over and over again. And like if I feel it, I can't stop until I like get it stuck in my head enough to where tomorrow I can at least play at least 75% of what I was playing.
Right.
But also, like, I have a lot of my inspiration live on stage. So these little solo shows and stuff I play, if I have a chord progression, I'll just start jamming it. And then just start writing. You know, like, there's a few songs. I have a song called Woman Gray that I wrote the lyrics to. I just wrote a poem. And then I had the chord progression for a long time. And then, like, you know, like, one day I just started trying to jam it at a show, and then I did it the next week, and then by the time it was like 3 months later, it was like solid, ready. Like, so it kind of just, it a little varies.
And I was going to ask you, so do you still write poetry?
Right now, I feel like through like all the things that have been happening lately, I've mostly just been writing poetry because it's like, it's funny to say, but I haven't been wanting to face the music. And I you know, so like, yeah. So I haven't been writing actual songs because I'm like, I'm not ready for this to be reality. I'm not ready for it to be like, okay, it's done, you know? So, but now in the past, like, month, I've been like, I have to just get it. So now I've been, like, writing more poetry, but, like, the poetry has been in song form. I'm thinking about the syllables, and I'm thinking about, like,
I was going to ask you, so, like, will those poems become songs, potentially?
Yes, definitely. I'm already on the verge of it right now, and it's some stuff is becoming really good. So
what is that like? I'm sure it's like relaxing to help it get your mind off, like writing poetry, get that on a paper. Do you reread it? Do you go and revisit those like thoughts and ideas?
Like right now I have a lot.
Like just for your own, not even like a creative like purpose or like for songwriting, just for like you as like a person.
I have to, and that's the thing too, is like I'll forget. You know, I forgive so easily, but because I forget, and so like. And then I'll get back into something and I'm like, oh my God, oh yeah, that happened. You hurt me, or, you know, this or that happened this way, or, oh, we don't agree this way. So it's like, fuck. Like, I have to keep going back and reminding myself, like, you know, this is happening for this reason. Or like, you know, like you felt this way once, remember like how that was, and like compare notes, compare like how you're feeling. And I feel like that's a thing, you know, like I'm always just like, it's fine, I'm fine, but I don't process. And like now I'm like, okay, everything. Now I'm over processing, like everything that's happening is just like,
That's part of it. It's all in waves,
yeah.
it cycles. So you said, I love that, by the way. That was like a nice little. For those of you who are not watching and you're listening to the audio, you got to check out the video because Nina's got a sweet ankle bracelet. And it's where'd you get that?
This one actually a friend of mine, Nikki Holland, gave to me.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
Slash like tambourine.
Yeah,
like,
and since we're on the whole video thing, how long have you been growing your hair out? Because that's uberly impressive.
What's
She's
today's
got
date?
the 17th.
July 17th.
In 2 days, they will be 8 years old.
Oh wow.
She's got some of the most impressive dreads I think I've ever seen.
They're long.
Yeah,
they're
very
they're
cool.
badass.
A couple of them are past my booty.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
8 years
So,
of dedication.
19, like you graduated high school and like, all right, I'm growing out dreads.
Was it an intention? Was that a conscious decision?
You know, like
or were you just like, I'm gonna be lazy and not like
Both.
kind of that?
Totally both, because I was like, I hated doing my hair, hated all these things,
Uh-huh.
but I was also like, man, those are so dope, and I don't want to. I know I want to get them now, as opposed to like being like, oh, I'm 30, I'm gonna start my dreads. You know,
Right.
like not that that's a bad thing. Like, you know, that's not like everyone does it whenever they do it.
But it's lost time in terms
That's
of
what
the
I'm
growing
saying.
process.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So I was like, I'll just start, you know, now, and I thought like I'll have them for 6 months now, like, you know, just, you know, comb them out, you
Yeah.
know, whatever else. But they didn't even lock until after a year. So once it was a year, I was like.
You're already there, man. Like
I was
you're
like, I'll just maybe there'll be one more year, and then after 2 years, I was like, dang, these are looking good. So then I like kept them and just kept going and then you know, 3 to 4 years ago, even I was like, well, I'm gonna keep them for like 10 years, and then I'm gonna cut them out, shave my head. I've never been bald, so shave my head, and then I'm gonna like regrow my hair and have like, you know, like just my regular hair or whatever, and then I'll just re-dread them. And now that I'm at 8, I'm like, dang, but in 2 more years, they'll be 10 now.
oh man.
So
So then
I'm like-
5 more years after that's 15.
15.
Yeah.
That's what I'm like 10 years. Like I'll see how I'm feeling in 2 years. Like I'll be 29 though, and then like I might be like, well, then I'll be 30 next year. So then I'll keep them. Then I'll be like, well, now it's 11, so that's 4 more years. I'll
Yeah.
be 30. You know what I'm saying? So
It'll never stop.
Never ending.
So not to sound uncultured, but educate us here, educate us in the views. So I've heard like, is that true? So when you're ready to cut them, do you have to shave your head, or because you said you could comb them out?
Everyone's
How
hair
does
is
that work?
different. So sometimes like
Depends on the hair.
depends on people's hair. Like I could start shampooing and I could start conditioning them and see where they go. But no matter what, you're gonna lose a lot of hair. A lot of this hair is just matted in and dead.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
really?
Yeah.
And like, you know, so it's like I could comb them out, but I'd still probably have like only a third to half of my hair left. So like the
Interesting.
length of it and like the overall like thickness of it, you know, and everything. Like it could be, you know, blotchy in certain spots. Like some dreads could like
Right.
say like this dread down here, these dreads are like long, but then like these ones up here, like only this much comes out of it. So then it's just like, you know,
Yeah.
and then you got to get a
Yeah.
haircut based off of that. And it's like, you might as well just shave.
Well, and then like that again. There's your perfect opportunity to try having your head shaved. Like
Yeah.
never again in your life will you be like, oh, this is the right
Right.
time. But when you're like, I'm getting rid of my dreads, it's the ideal time
Right.
to try that out.
And it's
so.
funny because I have like this whole half shaved.
Oh,
And
very
then
cool.
I honestly
I like
just
that tattoo.
started shaving this half too. So I have like a big patch here of like nothing. But like my favorite dreads are the ones that are the rest of this. Like these are all my favorite ones like down here.
So you're
and
not
I'm
going to
like,
shave it?
I'm never gonna shave it off. So I think this is where I'm at right now. I'm like half mohawk. But I wanted to have a dread hawk so bad. So
Dread
bad.
hawk?
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
But no, it's halfway there. So but I also want to get the rest of my head tattooed too. So
What's that feel like?
it's not bad. It's like getting your head shaved, you know, like with the buzzer.
Yeah.
So I think that's relaxing.
Yeah.
It feels relaxing to me, but like the last 10 minutes was excruciating.
Yeah, because you got a lot of color.
Yeah.
in
Is
one
that
too.
one session?
Yeah. I got it
Wow.
actually got it done at LA Ink.
Okay.
Just like high voltage tattoo or whatever. It was by a guy named Dennis, and he's actually from like the Canton area.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
And so are like 7 other of the 11 people that work at LA Ink. They're all from like Plymouth, Canton. They're all from
Really?
Michigan. They all came from Dennis. Dennis met Kat Von D when she was 14 and he was like 19.
No
and she
shit.
was like, come tattoo with me. So
That's
He's like,
badass.
all right.
yeah, right.
That's so badass.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So how long have you been in Nina and the Buffalo Riders?
5 years since
5 years.
It was a Hash Bash of 2013.
That's when you
Was
guys.
it?
Was
Yeah.
that your first gig?
No, that was
Is that
our
when you
first
met?
like hangout, like
Okay.
hangout meet. So Adam, who's one of the guitar players in the band, he found me at a bar that was a regular bar of his that he went to by his house, but I was just playing guitar there. And I thought he was like hitting on me. He was like, yo, let's hang and jam, you know, like whatever. And like all these other guys I went to go hang and jam with wanted to like do other things other than jam. And I was like, I'm not hanging out with these people anymore. So I stopped going to hang, but I just kind of believed him. But then I was still kind of like, I'm just going to like not do it. And then he brought this other guy named Ryan who... he's no longer in the band, but when he was like, they used to jam all the time, and he came in the band, or he came in the bar, and I was like, that guy doesn't belong here. That's really weird. Like, and then they were talking and stuff, and then they were like, we got to start a band, and I was like, all right. And I was like, they're like, let's hang out this Saturday, and I was like, okay, it's Hash Bash, but I ended up like getting super high, obviously, and I was just like, whatever. Went over there, like, didn't think it was a big deal, and like played a song. Actually, Been Hurt. That's on our second EP.
Okay.
I played that song for them because I just wrote it probably like the week prior.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. And they're like, just, you know, play a song that you just, you know, that you wrote or anything that you think would do good on. And it sounded exactly like I wanted it to sound. And I was just like, I like cried the whole way home. Like, my life's just beginning. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It was just like super, like, just wonderful, like, moment. And, yeah, so like that's how that happened. And then we just started adding people after that and losing people and then re-adding people. And
so you're saying that like it was the Buffalo Riders and they're like, we want it to be Nina and the Buffalo Riders,
because that's pretty
and
cool.
you weren't really about it.
I wasn't about it. No, I just like I don't like the focus to be on me. I thought it was gonna be
the
like
front man.
We're all a band, you know. I thought it was like, but also it's like their project, and I was like, oh, I'm joining your project, you know. And then like, but like now it's like everyone's like, oh, your band, and I'm like, well, I always at first I was like, well, it's not my band, it's our band, or you know. And then they're like, but it's Nina and the Buffalo Riders. I'm like, fuck. Like,
so now you're just
you're in, man.
Just, like, I'm like, well, this is my band. And then I feel like shitty, like, oh, my band, when it's just really like they asked me to join. So
it's Nina's letting it go to her head already.
Exactly. Yeah, right? Like I felt like, you know, I was like, oh, my bass player, oh, my blah blah blah, and I'm like, it's not mine though. What am I saying? Like, yeah, I don't know.
It is your voice.
You're explaining it to all these people, and they're like, they don't even really care.
Anyways.
Yeah,
you're like the.
Like we just did an interview recently where this woman was just like, and Ramito was there, our bass player, you know, doing the interview with me, and she was just completely disregarding him, and I'm like, hello, like, I was just like, what the fuck? So
we're a band, I'm not a
She was
solo
asking me
artist.
questions, and I was like, Ramito, how about you? Like, what is your answer? And I just like felt like shit. I'm like, come on, guys, like, it's not just me here, you know. So I don't know. It's fine if it's like, you know, someone's like, I want to interview just you, know, but it's like if you're like, bring a bandmate or, you know, whatever else, don't like just disregard them.
Right.
It's ridiculous, you know?
Yeah.
Well, so for those of like our listeners who haven't heard Nina and the Buffalo Riders, how would you describe your genre of music?
I think we've narrowed it down to psychedelic blues folk.
Oh my God.
You know?
Nice.
That is
Because it's, like,
incredible.
I think because like that's the thing where it's it's not just rock and roll soul. It's not just blues. It's not just, there's a little bit of funk in there. There's a little bit of alternative. There's a little bit of punk in there. You know, some people call us aggressive folk. Some people, you know, like there's just a bunch of different things, but it's like definitely there's psychedelic. There's a lot of blues, and then there's like folkiness for sure to it. Because there's like rootsy country vibes and like everything like that. So it's just like, you know, it's hard to just say like, it's hard to say what, like what it is or what it isn't, you know, like, and everybody's always asking us, and we could never really figure it out. And I think we figured this out, like I honestly feel like this happened 2 weeks ago, where like, I guess we're psychedelic blues folk, you know, like.
I like
That's
that.
an incredible. So,
You know?
Quick side story, and Kenny could probably tell it better than me. I mean, so like, go ahead. That genre rivals our
I
favorite.
think the importance of your genre is super important because we met a kid in Grand Rapids like 4 years ago. One of our really good friends now loves the brand. He was in a band. We met him at like a festival that we were like sponsoring. We were selling shirts at it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, man!" He gave us a flyer. He's like, "Check us out," and completely forgot his name, forgot the name of their band. But he goes, "Dude, we're like a Michigan surf disco band." Is like their genre.
Wow, sweet.
So I looked it up like 6 months later. I was like randomly just in my room. I was like, oh, what was the name of that kid? Like, what band was he in? I was like, I wanted some new music to listen to. I typed in Michigan Surf Disco. They're like the first band that popped up.
Probably the only band.
Yeah, they're like the only
Google
band that
result,
popped up.
one of one.
And because of that, like I went to their show, and now like we're really good friends with them, and like we love their
Had 'em on the
music,
podcast,
outer
you go
vibes.
to
their
But,
Nice.
yeah, so like the psychedelic folk. What'd you call it?
Psychedelic blues folk.
Psychedelic
Yeah, I think
blues
that
folk.
that's cool.
I think that's so catchy, and it's
cool
like
branding.
it sticks.
Right on,
You know, I
yeah.
think it's very sweet.
Right on,
So yeah,
cool.
I think that's a smart marketing move. If you
I would
will.
stick with that, and I do think that describes your guys' music well.
Right on.
I think that does it justice from what I've listened
and
to.
it comes
at least.
in and out of that too. There's some like more, tones of like R&B. Sometimes there's more like, Southern rock tones. So it all depends. It's like all big mix though. So,
Right.
yeah.
So you just said you're working on some solo stuff right now.
Yes, a lot of solo stuff, and that's a thing too. Where it's like I have a lot of my solo stuff is more like pull your heart out, stomp on it, throw it down the toilet, never get it ever again for the rest of your life. You must live 50 years without a heart, kind of a song.
Yeah.
That's the stuff that I kind of very like. I don't know if you guys listen to like Damien Rice or like City and Color.
Oh,
City and
just like
Colour,
stuff where
yeah.
it's like like their first album. Sometimes where you're just like, what?
Yeah.
Like the song Like Knives, kill me, please, please, please. Like where it's just like you just feel the pain so hard. Like my mouth's watering for how much I feel the
Right.
pain. Like it's like, oh, like it's, and there's some songs that I write that are kind of like that where it's like you can just feel it. Like and people have said that like, holy crap, like I just don't know. Like there's one song I have called Unsra, and it means it's from the Tibetan language and of India, and it means the moment you realize your love will no longer last. And it's just like that where you're like, fuck, like okay,
What is that called?
Unsra,
Unsra?
Onsra,
Okay.
and it's I heard that word and I was just like, holy crap, I don't know like what like I just and that is the song. Like this song is just like some of the lyrics are for the choruses. I already know. Silly, silly, silly me. Yes, I already know it isn't me you're looking for. And like talking about like basically like I was never enough or not. That there's some regrets in there. But like I wish I was your regret. I wish you would just take me in. Kind of a thing where But in the end, I already know that it isn't me you're looking for. Kind of a thing. And I wrote that like a few years ago when I got into a fight with
Oh, really?
This my ex, and it's just funny because it always just rung with me like within, and then it was just like obviously like after we broke up it was just like bleh, like just like it's like but
Now, because you're talking about solo stuff, and obviously you have the band. Are there less bottlenecks? Like, is it easier for you to work on solo stuff because there's not? Because how many band members do you guys have?
like 5 or 6 at a time.
So like that way, there's not like what I mean. You can really, it's just you and the music. Or do you find it easier to have that collaboration, to have 6 minds on something? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
What's that like?
I think it's a little of both. Like, I feel like I have less time to work on solo stuff because I'm always focusing on my band stuff. But when I do take time to do solo stuff, it's like I really put thought into it. And my band stuff just comes easier because we're all working at once. So it's like I can get all of like I said, like I wrote a bunch of lyrics for a song that we're doing. And it was easy because it's like we've been jamming this jam for a second and like everybody has put their part into it already. So it's like I already know where the song's going.
Yeah.
I already know where my vocals should be going and like how the melody should be going because there's already a completed song. But like when I'm writing it on my own, it's kind of just like, okay, I'm just starting from like square one. Like, where should this go? Here, should this go this way? Like, so it's like, it can be good for a bunch of reasons. I feel like they're kind of different.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's easier in one way or the other.
Very cool.
Like, do you have a lot of songs written for your solo stuff? Are you gonna start recording that soon?
Yeah, I already have started recording some. It definitely was put on hold for a minute, but I'm getting more time obviously now. But it's also less time because of summer, and it's like we've already like rescheduled a bunch too.
Yeah.
So it's like I was supposed to have a meeting in Lansing last week and like had to reschedule that. Like there's just so much going on, and so summer's always hard. But I am trying to get this out. I have to get this solo album out before winter. I have to.
Will that just be your name? Is it under your name?
So.
Or what will it be? Is
I'm
it?
not
Can we
sure.
ask? Can we debut that? Is that private
Sure.
knowledge?
It's I'm still in the mix of it,
Okay.
so it's like it's nothing is secure still, but I'm not sure if I want. So I have this concept where my solo album is kind of like my heart, like or anyone's heart when your heart looks in the mirror and it's like reflecting and seeing its own flaws and like all of these things. So like I'm Mexican, so the word corazón is heart. But I want it to be called Nosarok, which is corazón backwards.
Okay.
Like a reflection of that.
Very
so,
cool.
I'm not sure if I want the album to be called Nosarok, or if I want like my own solo, like name to be
yeah.
No Sarok, and like my album to be called like Leaving You Behind, which is another song that I have.
okay.
You know, or anything else, any of these other ones that I have. You know, like other songs that I've been writing and stuff like that too. So I'm kind of like on the fence of whether I want it to be called Nina Sofia, you know, No Sarok, or No Sarok would
That's a
be
cool
like.
concept.
It is
Yeah,
very
I
cool.
really enjoy that. I feel like 'cause that's a thing where it's just like I feel like I've always done that and reflected. I've been with people that I've reflected and different things now, and yeah, it's just like I feel like people don't. That's the thing too, is obviously, you know, people don't talk enough and emote enough, and like I said, like I'm bad at processing.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to like see my reflection and look at myself actually and talk to myself and reflect and actually get it so I can get through it even if it's painful. Like I just have to see my heart bleeding and know which holes to fix, other than just ignoring it and pretending like I'm not bleeding, you know. So
Look inward a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
I think that's very healthy part of staying grounded. Especially, you know, with anybody, especially artists and musicians and people who are the creative types who are really trying to make a living off of what they're doing. It's such a non-traditional path, and it's very easy to get lost in a lot of the adversity that comes with trying to make a career out of a lot of sweat, a lot of tears, you know,
Of
a lot
course.
of all that thing. So yeah, I think that looking inward. Do you ever like meditate? Do you have any routines like that? That trying to, you know, mental health wise?
You know, unfortunately, I don't. I struggle daily with mental health issues, and I'm getting better actually. And actually, just being on my own recently, I've gotten a lot better at. 'Cause losing yourself for a while, you know, like you lose yourself.
Yep.
So it's like you lose habits, you lose routines, you lose all of those things. So now I'm just finally like finding myself again and getting back to those habits, and even just like. Even if it's just stretching every day when I wake up, you know, like
Exactly.
even it's just that, like I try to do something to where I'm like, okay, like, you know, I'm eating a lot healthier, you know, I quit dairy, just a lot of different things. I'm just doing better and better, trying to get myself where I need to be. And it's definitely helping. I'm getting the right amount of energy from the right people, hanging out with the right people, feeling good about myself in a lot of different ways, and just consistently speaking to myself, talking to myself, asking myself how I'm feeling, making sure I am where I need to be.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's just by the end of the day, like tomorrow's a new day. Don't worry about tomorrow. Like just figure out like what you need today. So.
And you mentioned, I know you said something about like you put like song lyrics in your phone and different things like that.
Yeah.
Do you ever do any like journaling, any like physical like you know, like journaling thoughts down, things like that?
Yes, and I'm still up and down with that.
I'm sorry, I'm
too.
like picking you apart, but I want to like
No,
get to
it's
know
okay.
the,
Yeah.
the
I'm
mind
getting,
of Nina.
I'm getting better at I've used to journal a lot when I was a kid, and then I stopped for a while. Just on and off journaling my whole life, and now I've realized it's about the size of the journal that makes me journal or not. Like if it's a big journal, I'm like, nah, it's too bulky. So I realize I have this one right now that's about like about this big, and it's like right perfect size. I can just pull it out. I'm at the restaurant and I just like write what I'm making or what I'm eating at the restaurant, or like whatever else. Like when I was traveling in Colorado, I was journaling often. The last week I was not last week, but when I was there the last time, I was there for a week in March, and it was every day, journaling every day, and it helped a lot and helped me focus a lot and helped me like really ask myself like what I'm feeling and what's going on, and it does help a lot.
It's very interesting how that makes you feel. You know what I mean? Getting thoughts on paper.
Well, I think it's
Right.
super important to just have conversations with yourself.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Like I've done that a lot lately.
And not in a schizophrenic way.
No.
Yeah, no, just like because life moves so fast, and
Oh,
it feels like
totally.
you're always constantly going and going and going, and even like you're like, okay, I need to really process this, like this happened or whatever.
Yes.
And even in daily life, just like small, like
Oh,
minuscule
yeah.
things, it's you hardly reflect and take time to like.
Yeah.
Oh, like how do I feel today? Like, oh, why do I kind of feel like this? Like, what's going on in life, and like where am I, and why do I feel this way? Like, why do I get upset about this kind of thing,
Exactly.
or like, why does this make me happy? I need to do more of this.
Right.
And since we moved down here, I've taken a lot, like, made an effort to take more time to like sit and just have conversations with myself and be
quiet
like,
time.
oh, like, I get upset over this because. Why do I get upset and kind of work backwards?
Yeah,
Be like,
you have to work
it
backwards.
It really comes down to like
Man.
super minuscule things.
Yeah,
and, you know,
it
it's-
really is, you know? And even driving or anything, someone cuts you off and you get so pissed. And you're so pissed that you even feel like, it's like you don't like consciously think this, but it's like down to the fact where you're like, what did I do to that person to where they cut me off? And it's like, dude, it's not even about you.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like I have to like go back, and instead of like putting all of this angry energy out and just like screaming and shouting and, you know, cussing at this person, I'm literally like, my bad, dude, you're having a bad day.
Yep.
Let me get out of your way.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm just like, you know, I'm always like, oh man, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, like, it sucks that you know, like, or then I think like, you know, sometimes if I'm not like, damn, sucks to suck, you know, or I'm like, man,
Empathetic.
I'm like, what's going on with your day? Why are you rushing? Then I'm like, are you okay?
Sure.
Like literally asking these people like in other cars like that I want to be screaming at that cut me off and I almost died. I'm like, what's up, dude? Are you okay? Like, what are you rushing for? Like just worried about these people, you know, like it's just like, and I'm trying to like balance that out, you know, like rather than like, you know, just because that's one of my biggest things, just petty like road rage where it's like, come on.
And road rage is so weird. Road rage is so weird because like everyone's like, already got like high tensions because like you're going like 50 to 70 miles an hour, and then somebody cuts. You know what I mean? So I think that's like the other part of it. Like you're always like, even if you're relaxed, like deep down, you know, like there's like high stakes for being on the road.
Oh yeah, driving is completely. It's so much more dangerous than I don't even want to tell anyone how dangerous. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like it's just like, because there's some days where I'm like driving and I'm like, I could just crash right now. You know, like Vice City fucked me up. You know, playing too much Vice City to drive. But seriously, though,
too much Grand Theft Auto.
And I'm just like, some days like I'll think of myself and I'm like, man, I could just crash right now. And I'm just like, no, don't do it. Don't do it. Drive. Like just forget. You know, but it's not even like a factor. I'm like, oh, I want to die. You know, it's like just so easily, just like all
it would take is just,
oh yeah, dude.
Just
and it's just like, or you know, just like. And that's another thing with road rage where I'm just like, oh, just hit your car and then just get out, punch you in the face, take your car, like forget this.
Grand Theft Auto
you know,
style
like,
for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, Grand Theft Auto really messed me up for that. And I'm like, it's the only time where I've been like, man, that's the video game where I was just like, I really do want to like just hitting people randomly where I'm just like, God, this guy sucks. Like, what are you doing? Get out of the road. Like, what are you doing?
I saw like a clip recently on Instagram of like somebody like Grand Theft Auto like gets out of his car and like reaches in, unlocks the door like through the window and like drags him out and he drives away. And like, not that that's funny, but it was like ideally like it looked just GT. Like the like the Grand Theft Auto like cut scene when you tap the button.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Oh man, yeah.
Just pissed pulling somebody out of their car at a stoplight.
Oh man.
So are you gonna have a full album for your solo?
I'm hoping if I want to get it out in time, it might be a short album, but I'm trying to I've been writing so much more lately too that some of the songs that I've already recorded, I'm like, I don't even know if I want that on there. So it's like right now I'm like in the middle. I'm really.
So you've recorded.
I've recorded four songs already. And even some like extras on the songs too, where I'm just like, shit, like. Elise is gonna kill me because I'm like, be like, oh, maybe we just shouldn't put that one on it. Or I've been thinking about doing like a friend of mine wants to record a 5-track EP of mine for his little label thing in Lansing, and so I've been trying to think, okay, what are the B-sides that I just want to record for that? You know, I might just do my B-sides for his, you know, and like do all the ones that I really, really care about that are super heart-wrenching and stuff, like for, you know, with my friend Elise. So
do you have a full band? Like, how does that work with the other instruments?
I either will do them or I have friends that will just sit in, but like, so I'm not like the EP that I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna do that strictly acoustic, and then with Elise, I was going to just do an acoustic album, but the more I hear the songs, the more I'm like, a violin should go here, you know, a stand-up bass should go here, you know, different things like that. So I'm like, I need to actually really, really just really, really do it. You know,
what
like,
all instruments would you play on your album?
For me, I would probably just do, you know, guitar, maybe lead guitar a little bit, vocals, backup vocals. You know, I might do harmonica.
Really?
And I think that would probably be the extent. Maybe some hand drumming, you know, like if I was going to add something. But I know a lot of really good hand, like, drummers. So, like, I know a lot of good musicians. So it's like things I could play them if I wanted to, but, like, I could probably find someone better to do them,
Gotcha. Very cool.
So, because a lot of our show, like, we try and, you know, maybe bring value to people. Let's say someone's listening to this who wants to, you know, make the jump into really taking their music seriously. So, like, you know, you said, like, you're recording these things. How did you, like, what's the recording process? Did you call around? Did you know somebody? What's it? Is it super expensive? Is it cheaper than you might think? Like, to help, like, maybe somebody who wants to start recording their own stuff.
Right.
Any advice you have for that aspect?
A lot of people kind of do their own, like, pricing and stuff, especially, like, in-home studios and stuff. I have a friend, you know, like that, you know, she'll charge like $25 a song, which is like,
Right, yeah.
Stupid
like
cheap.
what? Like
Yeah.
I was like, let me give you more.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
stop. Like I can't.
Yeah,
Like
this
this is
$2,000 guitar.
That's
Yeah.
what, right, that's what I'm saying.
Let me
Like,
pay it forward,
dude,
damn it.
seriously, dude. I'm like, sometimes the universe is just like, no, it's cool. No, it's cool for my whole life. And I'm like, stop. Wait, can I help you? Like, what? But I feel like
It's all that good karma. Like,
dude,
it's just
I'm telling
pushing
you, like,
forward.
it's evening out. Like,
It's
just how,
momentum.
I feel like I just love people so much sometimes, and some people just don't get enough love. And I feel like that's why I'm always like consistently, like, literally, like, pecking people's faces, like kissing their face until they can't stand it.
Yeah.
You know, like I have friends of mine, like one of my friends, like I just started becoming closer to him, and we were just at a festival, and I was having like a hard time, like going through something, and like just like a little like kind of fucked up and stuff, and I was like, can I just like lay on you for a second? And like he's like, yeah. And so I'm like laying on his skin, you know, it's hot or whatever. I'm like face to, you know, skin to skin contact, and we're like talking and like conversating, and I'm like just kissing like little tiny kisses all over his chest and stuff, and like, you know, like afterwards, you know, like, and I've never done that to him. Like we were just like hanging out, you know, it helped me. I was like, dude, I feel so much calmer. Thank you so much, you know, whatever. And then like later on, he was talking. He's like, I don't like when people touch me, and I was like, what the, like you just like I'm like, you don't even know me, and you just let me lay on your chest and give you like little squirrel kisses for like an hour. He's like, yeah, but like, he was like, I like you though. I feel like I like, you know, your energy. And I'm just like, man, like, so it's like people just like. I try to just like promote that. I feel like you love someone until you don't, you know. I feel like until there's a reason for me not to like trust you, I just do, you know. And sometimes people are like, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't just like give people like open your arms and just like love people like that. I'm like, but that's what changes a person.
Yeah,
you
so
know?
you can
like,
get burned like that, but I think the upside outweighs the downside every time.
That's how I feel.
And I think as long as you go in there with that mindset, I think it does. It always. I mean, that's you put good energy out.
Yeah,
it's priceless, and there's so much of a shortage of that nowadays that people are starving for it. Really,
Well, people are so guarded too, and if you do that, it's like
very shocking.
It can open up doors, and because a lot of people, for whatever reasons, don't have that.
Well, it's from past experiences and upbringing, and you know, no shortage of reasons.
Or bad boyfriends or girlfriends or whatever.
Right.
And I think if you do that to people, I think the world would just be a much better place because it is just such in short supply, just with social media and all that shit out there.
Totally.
You know?
And it's good and it's bad, you know, like sometimes I can get myself in trouble, like showing someone all that affection and they're like, well, you're in love with me, right? And I'm like, no, like, dang, dude, like, I love you so much. And people, the thing is that everybody should be loving you just like this. And it's really hard because, you know, a lot of people can't understand like the difference between like just loving someone with all your might because they deserve it and you love them as a person rather than being like, okay, well, I'm in love with you and we can start a family. You know, it's completely different. So it does, like, sometimes I do get in trouble with that, and it's hard, you know, having to like break that to somebody, you know, but like, and when I was younger, it was harder to communicate that too. And, you know, now as an adult, I'm like, okay, like straight up, like, this is where I'm at. Like somebody,
you can't string people along either.
You can't at all, you know. And it's like that's where I'm like now I'm just 1,000% honest with everything. I'm like, you know, like there's people where we've gotten close, and then I'm like, whoa, dude, I'm sorry you thought we could kiss, but like, you're just my dude, you're just my friend, you know, like, you know, and just, you know, the same with whatever, you know. But then there's, you know, like sometimes, you know, it does work out, so whatever.
That's life. Say la vie.
That's life.
That's I was just gonna like sing it, but neither of us have singing voices, and I don't want anybody to hear it. So I'll just cue you like every time, like do that, sing that song. But
my favorite thing.
You're gonna we're gonna bring you in to record a song. We need a soundboard, so that way we don't have to do any of that stuff.
Dude,
like,
yeah.
How funny
That's
that
like what I
would
want to
be.
do. Like I could do all your sound effects, like literally
That would
everything.
be
Like I would
so
do
great.
I would write all your jingles, all your little things. Like that's like what I want to do. Like if this doesn't work out, I want to be like I want to write jingles for commercials. I want to write stuff for like TV shows and like everything's like little like scrubbing bubbles commercials.
Yes.
Give me all of it. Give me all of it.
We should let Nina like reframe our intro.
Dude,
our
right.
intro bit. Yeah,
that'd be
let her have
cool.
a field day with it.
What is the dream for you? Is it to have like a solo? Would you rather be in a solo tour in the world? Be in a band? Do you want to like be that big tour in the world?
Like I guess like if I think about it, if I really think about what I could have, I want to be a mother with children and have a spouse, whether it be man or woman, and you know, or you know, whatever gender you may be. I want that, but I also want my family to be traveling the road. I want there to be a lot of mountains, a lot of music, playing at Red Rocks a lot.
Yeah.
You know, whether it be with a band or not. Like I feel like at this rate right now, like I really am looking a lot into like so my solo stuff. Some of the stuff that I'm writing is I'm trying to focus. I'm actually focusing more on like R&B, funk, soul, like, but also with like a folk like bass, you know, to where it's like a folk song, but it's like a groovy, soulful folk song, you know, something like that, where like Alicia Keys, but more folk, you know, like like Alicia Keys and like I don't even know, Serena Ryder could like, I don't know if you know who that is, but like yeah, I feel like that could be a thing. But yeah, I want that. I want touring with a bunch of my friends. I want my band to be full of like my greatest, my bestest friends. The people that I'm like, we don't even have to be playing music and we're just hanging, you know, like it's like that. Like I want that touring, yes, with a spouse. And I want my spouse to like also be an artist who is either makes jewelry or like does other art things, you know. I want it to be like a traveling pack. Like I want all of me and my friends to have like a traveling circus, basically of like, we're coming into town and we have a show for you,
right?
You know, I want like a bunch of us to be caravanning where there's like a bunch of like fire spinners and like, and we already, a lot of me and my friends like with Feral Ground and stuff, we're already collecting our family like hardcore.
Right.
We just played a show on Thursday and it was like, everybody at the show was just like, like we're all just like friends. It's a hardcore family. Everyone's spinning. Everyone's like, you know, like there's like, you know, good DJs that are our friends, you know, like doing like good sounds outside. We have like rad bands inside. We have like people spinning, you know, like toy and like, all this. It is. And it's like when it's everyone you love too, it's just like it's just like a family party. Like, you know, it's funny. They're like, you know, you killed it so hard. I'm like, I'm here with my family.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, you guys want a show? I got you. You know, it's just like, you want this experience? I got you, because you're giving me what I need too.
Right.
You know, and it's just like, so that's what I really want. I want like a traveling circus, like Nina and family, like Nina, so it's like, like Nina y su familia, like Nina and the family, like Nina and her family, you know, like it's just what I want. And I want like it to be all my friends, where it's like, there's not one set band, there's 30 of us and we come in deep and we're all just kind of like interchanging and playing together. Like that's what I really want. It's like, oh, I need a circus or something, you know, like
that'd be cool.
That's really the dream.
Travel the world with the people you love and just
with like 2 big busloads, you know, like almost like
bunch of troubadours.
Yeah, you know, like it's like we're like what do you even call that? What's that? It's like Cirque du Soleil, you know, but like Nina and whoever, her family, whatever, like.
And the gang.
Yeah, Nina and the gang for sure, you know, like whatever. But, and like everything, like we all like have like a bunch of different, like there's a different flow of music styles too. Like there's going to be a bunch of hip hop in that and a bunch of rock and roll and a bunch of like soul folk in there too. You know, it's just like, it's an experience for everyone. And it's like, if you like good music, you will like every part of it.
Yeah.
You know, like that's like kind of where we're at, where it's just like, we can't discriminate against what kind of jams we're playing because we like it all.
Yeah.
You know, we want there to be a salsa beat in one song while we're like rapping on top of it and like whatever else, you know, like just like, and someone to be playing like Spanish guitar on top of that, you know, and somebody in the back doing like, you know, like with just like everything, you know, like
little potpourri.
Everything. Everybody's, you know, culture's all mixed in too. You like everything.
That'd be very cool.
Yeah.
That's a sweet vision.
That was cool. That was a great answer. That was much
That
better
was
than
like,
I
I think that's the only time I've ever given that answer too. I think that's like,
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, I think this is the first time I've been like, you know what? That's what I want. Really. Yeah.
Well, I'm honored that you articulated that in the basement
I'm gonna remember
of a
that
house
now.
in
This
Ferndale,
is what my
so.
goal is now. This is the
If
start,
we
guys.
can help you in that,
Yeah.
If there's anything we can do.
Yeah, and I mean, like
we
that's
would
the thing
love
too.
to.
Is like there's a crew too. The crew that comes in. Like you guys are doing like that stuff. You know, there's somebody that's recording. There's somebody that's doing this. We're all part of the same thing. Everyone's helping each other, and it's like,
Absolutely.
and then it's like, so you're part of the crew. There's 30 different like projects in this crew that makes up this thing. So it's like you guys have like all the work you like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, and it's only building more. And I only want it to snowball until we're all one world playing together.
Yeah.
that'd be
You
so
know?
badass.
Just a giant playground.
That's what it should
little
be.
Sandbox.
Music shouldn't be a competition. It's an art that we're all supposed to be like nothing is gonna be perfect without everyone putting it
Right.
an effort and an idea in. You know, like the world only goes around with all of us in it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I agree.
Nina, that's a great vision.
is a
I
great
can get
answer.
behind that.
I love that.
That's
I
very
think that's a great
cool.
answer,
Cool,
and
cool.
I think it's very within the realm of possibility.
Oh,
Working on it.
absolutely. That's so badass. So, what is your like musical inspiration? Like you said, you were singing country as like a little girl.
yeah,
like your
so
dad and
much.
uncle.
Like when I the first was Whitney Houston. I remember that was the first song I ever was like. I remember crying one day to that song, and I was like, I feel this in a way I don't feel other things.
Which song in particular?
I will always love you.
Yeah, okay, I figured. I mean, yeah.
My parents like discovered that I could sing. I was singing that song one day. My parents were like, like,
Holy
"Are
shit!
you hear this? Are you hear this?" And I was 2. There was a photo. They took a photo of me singing the song, and it was just like, it just came up in my timeline too. I have a photo of me just like jamming, and I'm in like a Power Ranger onesie,
Oh,
you know, like
nice.
with
I
like
love
jeans
Power
on with like one of those nasty woven like like brown belts, you know, like you
Oh,
wear when you're a
yeah,
kid,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Mom, why'd you buy me this? Yeah, so like,
Oh my God.
you know, like what I'm saying. So it's
I
like,
know exactly.
Yes.
That belt. What? Who
Yeah.
invented that?
that.
I'm sorry.
No
like,
real holes,
you
just like-
yeah, you just sidetracked.
Yeah.
Is that
my
like
mind,
the belt, like the buckle goes in like
Yeah.
whatever
yes,
little like
yes,
part
whatever
of the
little
stem,
woven
like that?
like
Yeah, it
area,
has
and it's
no
like uncomfortable
specific
every
belt
time.
hole.
Like
It
it's never a
looks
real
so
size, and
shitty,
it's too
too.
tight.
I want
Everything
to meet the guy who's like,
Yeah,
oh, you know
fuck
the
that.
belt? I'm gonna do it better, and by better I mean worse.
Right,
you
like-
know.
Oh my gosh, seriously. So like, yeah, I remember like, so it was. So then, you know, back during that time, who was it? The top ones, it was Whitney Houston.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was Selena, you know, like in my culture, Celine Dion, Mariah Carey, Alanis Morissette, Jewel. And then it was like, you know, like country singers like Tim McGraw, Garth Brooks, Martina McBride, Clint Black, and like, you know, like all, you know, Deanna Carter. But then there was like the old like 90s stuff like Sean Colvin, and, you know, even like as back as like the 80s stuff like Edie Brickell, you know, so it's just like all of like, there's so much stuff like that. But then there's, you know, like even getting down to like harder stuff like, you know, like the Cranberries, you know, and then
Yep.
like there was, you know, even like back then, you know, I was into like, you know, Busta Rhymes, TLC,
Yeah.
you know, like all the Motown I could think of, you know, like all the old oldies I could think of, as well as like Journey and, you know, like Foreigner and like all this that my parents listened to and everything like that, you know, and there was like, but my dad introduced me to Joe Cocker, and then I kind of did my own more like digging and research, and I was like, there's Janice, there's, you know, like, and then my parents didn't listen to much Fleetwood Mac, but I kind of like more discovered
love
that my dad
Fleetwood
likes
Mac.
them, you know, my dad introduced me to like the Black Crowes and like just so much stuff, it just kind of like came about, you know, like, and I learned, you know, I got more into like, I discovered way more rock music and everything like that through, you know, getting more into like pop punk and like different things like that. And then I discovered, you know, like just softer stuff, you know, like, okay, so like getting into stuff like Cinematic Sunrise, that got me into more like stuff like Taking Back Sunday. And like
Yeah.
that got me into more like Dashboard, and Dashboard got me more into like, you know, like, different things like, you know, even like down to like Jack Johnson and stuff like that. Like it all kind of like came from like that acousticy like
Yeah.
you know, flow. And I would have never even like got to there if I didn't start listening to like Marilyn Manson, which got me to like My Chemical Romance, which before Marilyn Manson was like Offspring, Blink-182. You know, like it just all these little spider webs of like things, you know,
Yeah.
like, but
So like you're super musically diverse. You really
man,
enjoy just
yeah,
like all different types of
I really do.
music.
And there's little to nothing I don't like. I'm not really into like a lot of polka, you know, but like, or like I'm not into like a lot of like Irish music, but I don't hate on it. It's just like not something that I'm like, I want to listen to this today.
Right. Like,
You know,
go out
you
of
know,
your
in the
way
right
to-
setting, you know, it works. Like I don't like, I'm never like, oh my God, get me out of here, you know, like, but it's just like, it's not something that I'm not gonna go pay to see that. I'm not like interested in listening to that on my free time. But like,
Is that what like you still listen to today too?
yeah, like in my CD player right now, I have My Morning Jacket, the Z album, which is like one of the most, that the album changed my life. I have one of the Alicia Keys albums, the one I think it's Take Me As I Am. It's the one with like No One on it and
Yeah.
like stuff like that. She's one of the best. I have the Edie Brickell tape in my tape deck right
Nice.
now. I also have like the Used, their first album in there. I have the Yeah Yeah Yeahs, Fever to Tell in there. I have No Doubt in there, the one with Don't Speak on it, that album. I have let's see, what else do I have? I have Lauryn Hill, Miseducation of Lauryn Hill in there. And then I have what else? I even have like Augustana in there. I have like just so many different things like what's it called? I even have what are they even called? I can't think of it now.
We won't hold
I
you
can't
to
think
it.
of it.
Give me a hint.
It's like it's Hispanic. It's
Ricky Martin. No,
Ricky Martin. I remember when I got that CD.
Living La
Called,
Vida Loca.
I can't even remember. I can't remember. But
What? So if you could, or what's one artist that you would love to collaborate with, or perform with, or write a song with? No
so
limits. If
I
it could
guess
be.
when it comes to like, I guess I would say like with different. I'm gonna say different genres.
Okay.
A couple of them. So like when it comes to more like I guess like spacey, psychedelic-y kind of sounding like ambient-y kind of stuff. I really want to collaborate with Tash Sultana.
Oh, yeah.
Really, really bad.
She's
I feel like
freaking
vocally, like I write a
awesome.
lot of stuff like that on my own time, like with my like looper and stuff like that too, and like with my own like just jamming with a lot of reverb and stuff. Like I've already been doing that before I knew who she was, and I was like,
Really?
"Buh." Saw her and I was like, oh my God, please, please. So like yeah, Tash Sultana for sure. I feel like we could write some amazing stuff.
Will anything like that be on your album?
There, maybe there will.
Really?
Like I feel like I'm still writing, and I'm still like in the space where I'm trying to figure out like a lot of different stuff, and I'm working with a lot of different stuff right now. I definitely want to collaborate with Alicia Keys.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that would be like, I feel like we could do some shit. Like, like I just feel like we could do some shit. When it comes to, it sounds weird. It's almost a guilty pleasure, and I don't know who's gonna hate me for this or not. Like,
Oh, boy.
so like they've been out since like I don't know, like mid to late '90s. It's old like country group.
Nickelback. No,
no.
I'm just kidding. I'm
Kill
just
me.
kidding.
No, it's like I'm a super sap for love. Love is my drug of choice over anything, and it kills me. It ruins my life all the time. But I really love the Rascal Flatts. I love them so much in a weird like. I love their voices together. Are just like they've been wrecking me like vocally my whole life, and like
That's
I
cool.
feel like if I were to like collaborate with a group like. I guess like a country group, it would be either like Rascal Flatts, like, or like, I wish Randy Travis was still doing stuff because it would have been Randy Travis.
Yeah,
like
a seizure or
he had a
something, right?
stroke,
Stroke?
hardcore to where he's like barely even talking now, man.
He was
It's so
supposed to, I don't even
sad.
think he was supposed to survive.
No,
and, like,
he was not.
It was like
I mean,
a miracle case.
Yeah, totally. And so it's like, Randy Travis would be.
I love
amazing.
Randy
man.
Travis.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
guy, man.
Or I guess like who's singing now, Brad Paisley is one of my favorite too.
Really?
But yeah, I guess like it all depends, like with different people. Like, yeah, I'd love to get down with like, Erykah Badu would be so dope to do some shit too. Like, there's just music is just so incredible. That's where I'm like,
Yeah.
I want to play with everybody, and I want people to be like. Just to give me a chance, It's like you don't know me, but it's like, dude, I know we could get some shit going together. I know we could write some stuff, So
You like reference Alicia Keys a lot. Is she kind of like
she's been one of the bigger ones, yeah.
like a huge
she's
influence for you? Like, do you like try and like, I don't know, I don't want to say like sound like her, but like you hear her
Replicate or
hit notes or
take
like
Man.
you like her stage presence.
It's
or
like the vibe, like everything. Like I trust her as a woman, and I don't know her. I just feel like how she puts it down. I'm like, yeah, I got you. Like I feel that exactly how you're putting it down. And like the same with like Usher. Same shit. Like they're like the boy and girl version of who I aspire to be like up there, It's like Usher will throw a song out and I'm like, fuck off, man. Like I get it, Like it's like, and even like songs I don't like, it's like if I don't like the lyrics, he's like doing runs where I'm just like, kill me. Like I got it. Like I'm
Right.
just like I feel what you're putting down, like hardcore always. Like them too for sure. Like Alicia Keys the most, like I always just like loved what she sung about. She was very empowering, but she was also like, talked about her man, how she was good to her man, but like also if her man wasn't good, she's like, don't stick around for that shit. But like also big with love songs.
Yeah.
She writes a lot about love, and like she's still old school with her shit, And Gladys Knight is one of her biggest influences, and I love Gladys Knight, and I could hear it. I hear the Motown in Alicia
Yeah.
Keys' voice, So it's like she kills it all the time. She kills me with it every time I hear it. Like ever since I first heard her, I remember being like, I want to be that. I want to be that when I grow up. Yeah,
That's cool.
she's cool.
That's a good answer. We got a lot of good answers out of this.
Yeah.
So lots of potential collaborations.
Yeah, right.
What about Shania Twain?
Me and my brother.
Holy
that was like
crap.
our woman crush growing
Really?
up.
Oh, my gosh,
yeah.
I would kill to see Shania Twain.
She's
To
the greatest.
collab with her would be like, I would die. I would probably die. My like.
I would die seeing that
Dude,
collaboration.
Seriously, oh my gosh, that's another one. Yeah, like I had that CD when I was younger, and it was
Yeah,
yeah,
like,
Shania-
we sang
she was
that
a big,
growing up.
she was a big one. I just
heard that
recently bought
CD
that CD
1,000
again.
times growing
Did you?
up.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously over the years you lose
Yeah.
it. I just bought it again from a thrift store. I was like, give me that.
Yeah.
Like she's killer. That was like Whose Bed Have Your Boots Been Under
Oh,
was my
yeah.
favorite
Whose
song
Bed?
for so long. Yeah, just she is
No, we all
good,
listen
man.
to
She's
Shania.
so good.
I don't. Oh, we listened to that CD. We probably wore it out.
Yeah.
Our parents
it's so
had
good.
it. And, like, we
yeah,
jammed
see,
out
oh
with
my gosh,
that.
it's good. Consistent. The whole CD is really, really good.
Yeah, like, we just were doing like Sunday. We were doing Sunday Fun Day, and our friends like started like playing just random songs on Spotify, and we were just like saying who could guess it first. And we
awesome.
we guessed like Shania Twain songs like the first 2 seconds of it. Just
Oh,
like
yeah.
the first guitar
Right,
strum.
seriously.
They're like, dude, how do you guys know
Oh,
that?
it's so
Like,
easy.
Bro, we love Shania
Oh
Twain.
yeah, nothing wrong with that.
That was a good time.
So, how, if you could provide any insight or advice, because I think this is something that a lot of people like struggle with seeing this far ahead, and it's one of those things I think you figure out a lot as you go. But what advice do you have for like making a living as a young artist? Like there's the classic starving artist. That's a very real thing. Because with everything, like the music world's so digital now. I mean, I know, like you said, you get paid a lot for gigs. Like that's where a big portion of revenue comes from. Do you see anything from like Spotify and Apple Music? I mean, how like what do revenue streams look like, and what advice can you give to people who want to get into making a living off music?
Right. We're definitely not anywhere near to where we even, like, nothing. I mean, we get cents from there, but it's nothing that I even know about.
Okay.
It's literally just in there.
Mm-hmm.
If it were me and I could do it again, starting like, if I could start like 10 years back from right now, I would get a job that is 1 to 2 days a week, maybe, or you can rotate your jobs. Just make sure you have a job that where you're getting income, because like you can't buy an apartment, you can't like get anything like that, you know, like depending on if it's under the table or not, you know, like I had a lot of gigs that were under the table. Now I would say like 90% of my gigs are accounted for now, so it's pretty cool. I'm gonna be, you know, like on the books for.
But people
so
want check stubs to like give you an apartment, is what you're
yeah,
saying.
yeah. You need that, because it's like you know, like I lived, you know, like with my brothers for a long time, and it's like it eats away at you not being able to like do your own thing, and like that freedom that you need to create. Like I didn't realize how much I was stunting my personal growth and my creative growth from living, you know, like with my brothers. Not to say it was them, but it's like because it wasn't my space, it wasn't my own place. I didn't have like any like room to breathe, you know, like, and it was just like, so I've only been out of there for like since May, the last weekend in May. And it's just my whole everything, my aura I feel is cleaner. Like everything is just like more like I can write, I can think, I don't feel like weird singing in my house, you know. It's just
be
like,
yourself, right?
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like your space.
Right, of course. So it's like to make a living, I feel like that's another thing. Another thing is to don't sell yourself short. But also like, you know, like you shouldn't be needing money for every gig. You know, you shouldn't be like, oh, I only play for money. Like, no, I do free gigs all the time. You know, like different things. Like, you know, I know there's people I know that are like, well, I don't busk or anything like that. And I'm like, you're dumb. Like, it's just like, it's another way for people to know you, and it's more personal thing, you know. And like, it's like, so busking is always like a good thing. And like, yeah, like,
is that a term for playing for
like
free?
out on the street, you know, busking. Like,
I've never heard that.
Yeah, you like busk. You're just out on the street, like just trying to.
That's cool. With
you know,
case open, like
yeah, you know. But you know, for like even gigs, like I was selling myself short, and it was people. I was playing private parties, and they're like, we're gonna pay you more, and I was like, no, like, what do you mean? They're like, no, you're worth more.
Right.
Like, you
No,
are
you're
worth
worth.
more. No, you're worth. You know. And that's the thing, is like a lot of people are like, you know, like they'll play a 3-hour gig and they're like $50, yeah, and I'm like, no. Like, you're playing for 3 hours, 3 45-minute sets anywhere, like that is, you need to be getting 1 to 150 at least, and that's like $100 is not enough for a 3-hour set.
Right.
It is not. You should be getting 50 a set, no matter what. Like, you know, and it's like, if you're doing it to practice, it's one thing, you know. If you know you're like, you know your worth. Know your worth. You know, it's like if there are people that are stopping and they're like, wow, you're, you know, incredible. Know your worth.
And those people that you go to get those gigs from and who are hiring you will respect you more, and they will even, I would argue, enjoy it more, because they respect, like, if you go in there and can negotiate and tell them what you're worth, and they will probably pay it because they're hiring you because they want your voice, then they're gonna they're gonna value it more, because they, you know, it's just a respect thing. So I think that's very good advice. Don't be afraid to ask for what you think you're worth.
Exactly.
And what's the worst that happens? They say no, and then you just renegotiate. Like, it's just part of the
you
game.
renegotiate.
Like, don't be afraid to have uncomfortable conversations with people.
But
I think
also,
that's super
like,
important.
yeah, and I mean, there are a lot of places that are like, oh, I'm not paying you that, and it's like, all right, well, I guess you're not. See, I don't even want to negotiate with you, you know. And there's some places that are like, they'll ask me to play, and it's like a special occasion, or it's something where I'm like, I know you can't pay me what I need,
right?
But I'm still gonna do this,
yeah.
Because it's just like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's just like, you know, every gig is like the same. There's, you know, an equal opportunity. You know, like, obviously there's gonna be some gigs that are like, okay, nobody's gonna be at this thing, you know, like, or whatever. But even in that, like, there's still like a good percentage of it's like, who are you playing that for? Whoever wanted that show, like, it means something to them, you know. So
I mean, in every gig you do, you can meet more people. Like,
exactly.
look, we met because you were playing at Rosie's.
Right.
I think
random
that's
sports bar.
Awesome advice. You, like, know your worth, absolutely. But just like everything in life, it's balance. Like, know your worth. It's like, all right, if I can get $300 for this gig, like, take it, and you know, ask for it. But on the same token, you have to do like this kind of serendipitous things. Like, all right, if this feels good, like, I'm gonna go do this gig
I
for
believe in that
$100
100%.
or for free.
And you got to pay your dues and do your plenty of free gigs.
Because
and
you don't know
of
who's in
course.
the crowd, right? But it's like a balance. It's like, you have to obviously make money.
Oh yeah.
But in the same token, it's like, hey, if I want to go do this one for $50 or $100, like, Why
for
not?
the experience and
Right,
building
it's
your
about the experience.
portfolio, your repertoire.
Exactly, and anything,
getting
you know, like
comfortable.
I played a show the other night where this woman came up and she's like, "Do you know Bob Seger? Now I play Turn the Page." And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh, that's my karaoke song. I play that song." And I was like, "Do you want to sing it?" And she's like, "What?" Like, and she's like, I let her sing it. And I just played guitar and helped her with the words a little bit like that.
Sure,
Like,
I loved
dude,
it.
she's like, "You just made my whole life. I never
Yeah.
thought that would ever happen." And
That's
it's like all
incredible.
about like helping people, just to like love music more. Like that's
That's
all you're
so
doing is
cool.
trying to be like, this is what I love. You should love it too.
That's
I
bad.
love that
like-
you play Bob Seger, by the way. I
Oh,
never
hell
knew
yeah.
you
That's
turned the
badass.
page.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
No,
so
and that
cool.
chick probably just loved it. She's
She
like, she
seriously,
felt
like,
like a rock star.
She-
Her,
Guess what? She
her-
probably
her
told all
son
her
plays guitar.
friends.
She's like, my son has never even done this for me. I'm like, what a jerk, dude! Like, let your mom sing. Like, what the heck, Like, and that's the thing where it's like, and then people need that confidence. Like, and that's where, even in other groups, like I'll have a hand drum I'm playing and stuff like that, and I'll take it to people who are like, oh, I've never played drums before. I'm like, check it out, play it, and they're like, what do you? And I'm like, just play it, just
Just
start
feel the
playing
rhythm,
it.
man.
And so it's like that starts, and then someone else is like, oh, okay, cool. I've gotten 3 people like already starting to play hand drums because like
That's so
and
badass.
like I've had more people that
You just gave an opportunity.
Dude, that's the thing. Is like, everyone should be playing music. We can all do the same things. Like if we all, like music for sure. Like some people are like, oh, I don't have rhythm, but there's an instrument out there you can
Oh,
play.
yeah.
Play the fucking triangle.
Yeah,
you know
I
what
mean,
I'm
there's
saying?
no shame in
Dude,
that.
like,
man.
dude, seriously, there's so many different things. Like I got this guy and like, like this
Oh,
guy.
Oh,
yeah, there
yeah.
you go.
Like how easy is that to
That's
do? You
great.
know what I'm saying? Where it's just like you don't even have to like.
I like that little frog thing that you slide the stick
Oh,
across.
dude.
That thing
Oh,
sounds
yeah.
so cool.
Yeah, so
anybody can play that.
Dude,
Yeah, yeah.
My roommate and I, my roommate Christine, we're part of this organization called Girls Rock Detroit, where we have like a week-long session where young girls or young kids from the ages of 7 to like maybe 14 or something like that. They come in. They may have already played an instrument, maybe not, but they're like learning how to play an instrument and learning how to write a song and write the lyrics to a song and perform a song and knowing how to like read music and all this stuff in 1 week.
Oh, wow.
And then they perform it at the end of the week.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. So there's all these different workshops and stuff. We have like, empowering workshops where we talk about, like women's empowerment or just like, or there's like, we have like one where last session where it was like gender norms, like different things. Like we had some young kids that realized they were trans, and they're just
Right.
like, different things like that where it's like, we're really trying to like have a safe space as well as promoting like music is it,
Right.
So, different things like that. We have these workshops where we like, so me and my roommate, we made these things called contact mics where it looks like, those things you put on your chest at the hospital where it's like they're reading your heartbeat and all
Yeah,
this stuff,
yeah,
like
yeah,
this little
yeah,
circle
yeah.
patches. Well, it looks like that. And then there's like a little like ceramic like plate in the middle kind of a thing. And then you have to like solder like the wires to it, like, and then solder like the wires to like the 1/4 inch, do all that. And then, so we have that's the frog. And you just tape that contact mic to the bottom of it, and
Oh, wow.
it amplifies
Really?
the frog. Coolest thing we've ever
That
seen. Me
is
and my
so
friends come over
cool.
and they're like, like we never, because it's like you can put it up to a mic, but it's
Yeah,
never
it's not the
reading
same,
it. But so
yeah,
it's like
the
it reads off the
vibration.
vibration. So it's like now it's just there, and we're like, holy crap, life change.
That is so
like,
cool.
so now it's like,
That's so bad.
yeah, we're gonna have a big jam at Feral Fest, and we're gonna have like a couple of those contact mics and have some people with all of their frogs and percussions and
Really?
just like
That is cool.
contact mics everywhere. Yeah,
That's what that thing's called, is the frog, the little...
I think it's just a frog.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
called
that's
it
what
a
I've called
frog.
it. Like, it is a
Really?
frog.
Little frog guy. Yeah.
Yeah, that thing is badass. Or you
Little
could
froggy
play, like,
fella.
the bottle, like in the summertime by Mungo Jerry. That one guy's like...
In the summertime.
spinning.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Is
And
it
he's just like
music
every
video?
second he's like,
Yeah.
have you gotta watch him his
Yeah,
video. Like
yeah.
he's just like
He's
that
like
same guy who's got like he doesn't miss a beat, man. Every second he's like,
And he's just like in one of those like big old fashioned bottles, kind of like...
Yeah.
it's like a jug. He's playing the jug.
Yeah, the
That's
jug,
what it is.
yeah,
It's the
that's what
jug.
It is,
Yeah.
the jug. It's so
Yeah.
great.
Mungo Jerry. What's the name of
The Mungo Jerry.
The Mungo Jerry.
Yeah.
So
He's got
funny.
huge,
He's
just like curly
Yeah,
afro,
exactly.
big old
And they're
sideburns,
just
like down
vibing,
Yes.
man.
Oh, that song is great.
It's awesome.
That was good advice.
That was good advice.
You got anything else, Ty?
I think we hit all the points. We covered some good stuff. I'm good. I'm
Nina,
set. Is
anything
there
else you'd like
this
to
is
cover?
this is a platform for you. If there's anything you'd like to convey to our audience or to your audience or to strangers, anything you want to say?
Man, I don't even know. I guess like, I don't know. I guess believe in yourself, no matter
Yeah.
what. Like, it's like, especially with music, like, like you're never, there's always someone that's going to be better than you. So
Yep.
be humble too, but there's always someone that's like worse than you too, and it's like, it's all a scale. We're all learning. If you picked up a guitar and played one single note, you're better than 20 million people out there,
Yeah.
so it's just like, like never give up on the things that you love. Like never give up on something that makes you feel right. Even if it's hard, even if you're going through it and you're like, this is ruining my life right now. Like, you know, it's just momentarily, and you just get through it. Like, there have been moments where I wanted to quit music altogether. And then it's just a lull, because it's just like, you know, you love it. You know, it comes back to you. And it's like, you know how it makes you feel. You know, you can't get away from the feeling of it. So it's just like, just keep working hard. Like I said, like I've been playing for 16 years, and I feel like I've been playing for like 5, you know, because it's like just not enough practice. But like now I'm getting there. I'm working on it, you know, just never like stopping, just actually believing that you can do it.
That's excellent advice. Nina, thank you for coming on. What's your
Thank you,
Skroove?
guys.
Well, we can.
Go,
I was just gonna say where they can follow you.
Yeah,
Nina
where can
and
people
Buffalo
find you?
Riders,
Oh, yeah.
Facebook,
Instagram. We're on like Reverb Nation. We're on SoundCloud. Yeah, Nina the
Yeah,
Buffalo
Spotify,
Riders.
Apple Music.
I
Spotify
listen
too,
to you guys.
Pandora. Even we have a Pandora station.
Oh, do you? Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
You can find my solo page as Nina, but it's spelled Neenuh.
Okay.
It's like one word, Nina. Like Nina.
Is that Facebook?
Yeah, on Facebook.
Okay.
I'm in the middle of like getting my own website, my personal website for that.
Okay.
Nina and the Buffalo Riders is like up right now too, but I have to update that too. We're just like
So how do like people find gigs?
gigs. Facebook. I would say go Facebook. Like that's where we always post like where we're gonna be. I have like usually like a daily photo or like a monthly photo of like my schedule for my solo page, where all my solo gigs are and stuff like that. I have to make one of those for July tonight, even though we're halfway through July.
Yeah, it's all right. That's part of it.
So like you guys
Right.
play like a lot of Detroit, and you do like a lot of Detroit bars solo, but you're like at Feral Fest. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Feral Fest is the next gig for Nina Buffalo Riders, and
Okay.
then me, I play Rusted Crow this Wednesday tomorrow.
Okay.
So.
All right,
Awesome.
so yeah, guys, I urge you to check her out on like listen to her stuff, Apple Music, Spotify, like you said, the Pandora station. But you need to experience the music in person too. So find one of her gigs, support local music, show her some love, and she's actually gonna perform some stuff for us here. She's gonna throw a few songs down for us.
Yeah.
So we'll make videos and edits of that, so you guys can get a little preview, little taste.
Awesome. Thank you, Nina.
Yeah,
Thanks, Nina.
so much, you guys.
Appreciate
All right, guys, we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Peace.
Woo.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. All episodes of What's Your Skroove are available on iTunes. And if you like the show, be sure to rate, subscribe, and leave a comment. As always, there are free stickers on our website, www.skroovecode.com. We'll see you guys next time.